Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM. Adam Azer in this little office space here with Dave Richard and Heath Cummings. Happy Sunday, guys. Ready for Week 12. Here we go.
Yes. It is a crucial week with 6 teams on bye. This is not going to be easy for every fantasy manager. Next week we get a reprieve, and then after that, 6 more teams on bye. So I think this is when we're going to start to see some separation, not just in the NFL among the teams that are playoff bound and not, but teams in your fantasy league, which ones are for real and which ones are about to have their seasons end abruptly.
So I still have an iguana in my house.
Oh, no.
It's too cold. It won't even come outside now.
Oh, well, that's bad. Too cold. Yeah. It's so nice here. It's beautiful out. All right. Anyway, I'm in Florida, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to hang out and get to watch football with the guys today. But if I look different, yes, I do have hands. Somebody said Adam has hands. I thank you guys for filling in on Friday, for doing a great job on Friday. To me, not doing the show on Friday just made me realize how off I feel and how important those Thursday and Friday shows are to get people's minds right for setting their lineups. But here we are. Let's start, I think, with the big news. First of all, Pacheco's out, so Kareem Hunt, go for it. Great matchup against Carolina. Maybe his last hurrah is like a must-start fantasy running back. But let's talk about the 49ers up against the Packers with no Brock Purdy, with Brandon Allen as their quarterback. He's got a strange history, 9 career starts. In 2 of his starts, he threw for less than 90 yards. Most of his starts were fairly normal for a backup quarterback, but what did you guys do with Juwan Jennings and Deebo Samuel and Kittle, anyone else that's relevant here? And I promise we will get to your questions in a little bit. We'll make up for lost time. But Dave, why don't you start? What are your thoughts on the 49ers today?
I'm scared. This is a quarterback who hasn't had significant snaps since 2021. Do I have that right? With Brandon Allen?
I think maybe 22, but I think, I have it right here. I have his game log. 20. I don't even know, dude. Sorry.
Okay, so the research I found, there were 6 games that he had
21
with 19 or more pass attempts. And, I mean, his numbers were on par with what we've seen this year from Aiden O'Connell or Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we're not talking about good quarterbacking here. And I think the 49ers, if they're going to be wise about how they use Allen and deploy this offense, short throws, easy throws, design throws, probably not throws with a bunch of reads or anything like that. I think it's something that does help the catch numbers for all of the 49ers players, but I wouldn't expect efficiency. And that's going to be a problem, especially with Jennings, who doesn't have a lot of yards after catch per reception on the year. Deebo, I watched his film. I don't think he looks right. And Kittle's back. He's the one that I moved down like the least amount. All of them moved down. But Kittle's still a top 5 fantasy tight end. Juwan Jennings, I think, is either a borderline number 2 receiver or a high-end number 3 receiver. And Deebo's behind him. And I just do not feel good about the chances of this passing game. I even moved McCaffrey down a few spots.
So I don't know if you can hear it or not, but somebody in my neighborhood either has a house alarm or a car alarm going off. And it sounds like exactly how Dave feels about the 49ers, like this alarm blaring. If things are awful, listen, I don't want to discount the talent of Brock Purdy, but he was Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL draft and has turned into one of the most efficient passers in the NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo averaged 8 yards per pass attempt as a San Francisco 49er and couldn't make it half a season as a starter somewhere else. Nick Mullins, it was really, really good. Phil, I don't think Brandon Allen's going to be good. I think we have every reason based on lots of evidence to suggest that Brandon Allen will be better than he has ever been. Yeah. And so I'm starting Kittle. I'm starting McCaffrey. I've got Jennings and Deebo back-to-back, maybe wide receiver 24, 25 range. I think they'll be fine. Not as good as not as excited as we were about them, but this system is real, and it makes quarterbacks better.
Okay, so let's I know I'm working on my mic levels here, so sit tight with that. Let's just go through some of the other headlines here real quick. Malik Neighbors, I haven't seen anything about him being inactive, so I'm assuming he's
No,
active.
he's going to play. There's another report from Art Stapleton, Bergen Record, saying that he's going to play.
Okay, and you want me to be louder? Okay, I'll be a little bit louder then. I'll turn my levels up. So Mike Evans, well, the inactive should be out right now. So Mike Evans is active.
Yep.
DeAndre Swift, is that
Active.
active?
Keenan Allen
Okay.
active.
Okay, so all right, I think Monday night is interesting with McConkey questionable, and we don't know about Roquan Smith, which could make a huge difference for J.K. Dobbins. But let's start answering some questions here. It's been too long. I miss our audience here. I miss you guys so much. So let's. I don't like missing shows. I really don't. All right, here we go. Jaden Reed, Jawan Jennings, Calvin Ridley, Rashad White. We need one of these guys.
I believe Ridley is my highest ranked player on that list.
I would definitely start Calvin Ridley.
Oh wow, louder.
Rashad
You
White
really
would
like
be
saying
second.
those words in that order, do you?
Rashad White would be second. No, I've got Ridley pretty high. He's a high end number 2 wide receiver. I was kind of struggling because the thing is, in my running backs are all projected for so many, like 12 for 12 or 18 for 18. So many more points than their wide receivers at the same ranking. And so I was really like, is RB 20 Rashad White better than RB 14 Calvin Ridley? I don't think quite.
Okay. Am I loud enough, guys, or still no?
You
sounded fine to me the whole time.
How about now? Is this any louder? Is this louder? I got.
So there's a
equipment.
volume button on your mixer, and if you just turn that to a bigger number, generally it makes you sound louder.
I've been doing it. All right. Well, Pollard or Hubbard at flex?
Chuba for me.
I've got Chuba. I think I'm higher on both these guys than the consensus, but they're high on number 2s. I'll go with Chuba. I agree. Just speak from your gut, Adam.
There we go. All right,
That's
is this
great.
good or is it too loud?
That's great.
It
Okay.
might
hear you.
A hair too loud.
All right, it does feel a little bit loud now. Kendrick Bourne, Jahan Dotson with Devontae Smith out, or John Mechie?
Bourne. I think Bourne will see the most targets of that trio.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah, probably Bourne.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh man, I can hear me. I can hear myself. I feel like I'm feeling it. Neighbors or David Montgomery PPR? Montgomery.
I think Montgomery's the easy answer there.
It'd be Neighbors for me.
Montgomery's like the Neighbors is the fun answer, but I don't know. Like, did you downgrade him at all with the groin injury or whatever?
A little.
I have not. No.
All right. Let's pick Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, JSN, Chuba Hubbard, Javonte Williams, Deebo Samuel. We need to sit 2 of them.
Javonte and Chuba might be the 2 to sit from this whole group. That's what Deebo's a close one too. It's one of those. It's 2 of the last 3. I can double check my rankings, but since it's half PPR, I'll go with Javonte and I might say Deebo, actually.
I think I would sit Javonte and Deebo. I'm just going to be honest, though.
Oops, sorry.
Because I'm not fully using my projections for my Marvin Harrison Jr. ranking this week because I want to believe in the talent that they're going to use him better coming out of the bye. And we see that a lot of times with rookies. We've seen it with Rome Odunze. So I'm hopeful that Marvin Harrison's role in the offense gets better. If it's exactly like it's been all season long, then the answer is definitely Marvin Harrison Jr. to sit.
To sit, okay. Tyrone Tracy Jr. or Ramondre Stevenson, non-PPR?
Tracy.
Jameson Williams, Eckler, or Jacoby Myers, PPR? I think I'm going to go Myers.
I would go Jacoby Myers.
I have Jameson 1 spot ahead of Jacoby.
Okay. Jameson is the 8-ball said to start Jameson Williams, by the way, on FFT in 5. So I think it said outlook good, if I recall.
Listen, I think if you have to ask 3 times, you should be very skeptical about the yes.
Roshan Johnson or Amir Abdullah. We should talk about Amir Abdullah. Heath and I picked up in a 10-team league. We're starting him over Rashad Bateman. You got to go Abdullah over Roshan, right? With Swift playing.
Yep.
Yes.
And here's the thing, like if he keeps the passing downs roll, that's what the Broncos do. They're very good on a per carry basis. They're good against running backs. They have a great defense, but he might be able to catch some balls. So that's what you're banking on here. Is he a top 24 running back for you guys, Amir Abdullah?
No. He's just outside. I'm nervous about how many carries he'll get, how effective he'll be. Remember, this is an older running back now who might just be. He might literally be a passing downs back, and that's it. And they'll just figure out a way with Dylan Laube and Sincere McCormick to handle the rushing downs work. We don't know what they're going to do. This isn't a good matchup at all anyway. I think you're counting on 50 total yards and 5 catches. I don't see a lot of upside for Abdullah.
Is Sincere McCormick the one they activated?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I remember, I don't even want to say what I'm going to say because I want to do the research on it. Just give me a few minutes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I know about McCormick.
All right, Pollard or Bucky Irving, PPR?
Pollard.
Sanders.
I would go the other way. I would go Irving.
Sanders or Theo Johnson?
I'll go Sanders, but I hate to do this because I'm probably going to mess somebody up, but like this was the greatest week of streaming tight end we've ever had.
Right.
Did you really miss on Jonnu Smith and Will Dissly and Luke Schoonmaker? If so,
you take Schoonmaker over these guys?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Schoonmaker is 11% rostered. I just wanted to look that up. Okay, good to have. Oh, thank you, Magic Rat. Speaking of Magic Rat, I'm going to the Panthers game on Monday. Yeah.
You'd be excited about that. You love the Panthers.
JSN I'll be watching Monday Night Football on my phone. JSN or McConkey, non-PPR. He's got to go JSN. We don't know if McConkey's going to play, right?
Well, he practiced toward the end of the week. They listed him as questionable. I don't really have a sincere fear that he's going to miss the game, but I would go JSN over McConkey anyway.
I'd go JSN over McConkey if McConkey was 100% healthy. I do think with like a AC sprain, there's a real risk that he just lands on it wrong and comes out of the game immediately.
Would not be bad to pick up Quentin Johnston, but don't drop McConkey or JSN. Just pick them up if you can. Jennings or Lamb, Eckler or Jacobs?
Probably going to have to drop somebody.
Well, yeah,
you're not Thomas Schaefer. You can't just carry 4 extra players.
Not one of those two guys.
I will take Lamb over Jennings. That's a change from earlier in the week. Obviously, the quarterback situation is bad for both of them. But I would chance it with Lamb and Jacobs over Eckler for me.
I need to confess something and get a fantasy cops ruling.
Oh boy.
Wait, okay, but all right, go ahead.
You have something more important?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Big day for Thomas Schaefer. Yesterday was a big night for Thomas Schaefer.
Okay.
Got engaged.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
All right.
I shouldn't have made any bad jokes. I'm sorry. Big time. Big weekend.
We're very happy for him. It's awesome. All right. What's going on, Heath?
So, I've criticized, I just criticized Thomas for this, and I've criticized Dave for it a lot in the past. This carrying extra players longer than period. I made a trade in our Dynasty League, and I had 3 too many players on my roster after the trade on Friday morning. How long is it okay to try to make another trade or wait until you cut those players?
I think you have until Sunday at 1.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Sunday.
Now there are platforms out there where you can't make moves if you've got this isn't the same thing that you're talking about as far as I know. But there are platforms where if you have a player on IR and they're no longer IR eligible, you can't do anything. You can't make trades, can't add other players until you rectify that situation.
But Adam, you don't think that like what Thomas and Dave do to save themselves time because they're busier than us, dropping the player early on Monday and then picking up 4 players on Tuesday morning. You don't think they can hold all 4 of those players until Sunday?
No, I don't. I would say
cool.
They should drop them as soon as possible, if not by Thursday. But also, really, you should be mad at Jamie because he's the commissioner of those leagues, and all he has to do is check a box in the commissioner settings to strictly enforce lineup roster numbers or whatever it says, and then we find. All right, let's get back to the question here. Tommy DeVito or Brandon Allen?
I have DeVito higher. I this could be where I just look to Heath and Heath just says flip a coin.
Yeah, I've got Tommy DeVito.
Let's do some rapid fire here. Let's make up for lost time. That would be a really boring documentary, an FFT documentary. Terrible. Sit one of Waddle.
We did where it was just like a bunch of lies. Like we just made up like all like kinds of drama.
Yeah.
Would have been a great episode seeing Schaefer get engaged. A lot of
That
people
would've
would have
been-
been really
yeah.
invested in that.
That would've been
The
cool.
tennis match would have been fantastic.
I'd love to hear his story. Oh, the tennis match.
That would have been. I heard a rumor that Dan was maybe on the Thursday night mailbag. In fact, I wouldn't say I heard a rumor. Multiple people reached out to me when I woke up Friday morning saying Dan basically said he could beat you at basketball.
We quickly put him in his place, as I recall. Like, there's no way that was gonna happen. All right, sit Waddle, Chuba Hubbard, or Debo Samuel. Is that DBO or is that someone else with those initials?
Debo. Yeah, I don't know who
Thanks,
DBO
Debo.
would be.
Okay.
I'd sit Waddle. As much as I don't like Debo, I'd still sit Waddle.
All right,
I
now
agree.
we're going rapid fire here. Hurts or Daniels?
Hurts.
Sit Taylor, Hunt, or Tracy?
Tracy.
I think I want to double check this. I did not have Taylor very high to start the week. I have Taylor one spot ahead of Tracy, so I'm sitting Tracy.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm very nervous about Taylor. I almost sat him for Bucky Irving, but I'm also starting Rashad White. I didn't want to start both of them over Taylor. All right, would you drop Jonnu Smith, Jacoby Myers, or Quentin Johnston to activate Mike Evans? If you're not starting Jonnu, I'd probably drop him. I don't know how you guys feel.
If you
I
have a
would
top five tight end, yeah.
Goddard. We should talk about Goddard or Kate Otten.
I have Otten higher, but I am a big fan of Goddard with Devontae Smith gone.
Okay, I want to give you guys some numbers. If I had been on the Friday show, this would have been one of my stats of the day, or the game, or whatever. So the Eagles, they changed their offense during their bye. I think they told the story on Monday Night Football, if I recall, that the offensive lineman went into Sirianni and were like, "Listen, let's just put it on us, right? Let's be run heavy." Since week 6, when they came out of their bye, they have a 38.1% pass rate, which is the lowest in the NFL. Number 2 in that span is Detroit at 46.4%. 38.1% pass rate is insanely low. I went the last 5 years, the lowest I could find was around 44% for a full season. So that's what they're doing right now. When they get in the red zone, their pass rate is 25.4% in the red zone. They are passing 1 every 4 plays in the red zone since week 6. When they get inside the 10-yard line, the Eagles' pass rate since week 6 is 14.3%. It's unbelievable. It just, I don't know where you guys put Goddard, but I saw that and I was like, Goddard's probably got a pretty good shot today, but they don't usually throw about 25 times, and they throw, 1 out of every 7.5 plays in the green zone. It's insane. So I just thought those were crazy numbers, and they're super run heavy right now. Where's Goddard for you?
I put him at number 8. So top 10 fantasy tight end in full PPR. Probably about that same range, even in half and non-PPR. Maybe a step back and just straight up non. Would start Otten. Would start all the elite tight ends, obviously, over him. And I would start Disley over him. But short of that, I think Dallas Goedert's got a real good chance to have a nice game.
I've got him at 9. I'd like to have him at 8 if we could just pretend like David Njoku didn't exist this week. The only guy I think I would start over him that Dave wouldn't is Jonnu, because I have Jonnu over Disley.
McBride or Bowers?
Bowers.
Agreed.
Goddard or Wan'Dale Robinson? Goddard. All those things I said.
Yeah.
I'm going Goddard.
All right.
Quentin Johnston, Tank. Oh, I'm sorry, Heath. Were you going Wan'Dale?
No, I think that's probably right.
Quentin Johnston, Tank Dell, or Javonte Williams? Pick one in PPR.
Javonte.
I can give you reasons why Javonte is the best way to go, and that is who I have the rank the highest. But I am nervous about a fooled you game from Javonte and the Broncos running backs. It's an awesome matchup. When the Broncos were competitive last week, Javonte played almost 70% of the snaps. He definitely looks like the best running back that they have. But what happened 2 weeks ago? We saw Javonte Williams barely play. Estime played. You can tell me if you guys saw something. I didn't see anything that suggested that Javonte is for sure locked into that role as the lead back. If we knew now that he was going to play 65% of the snaps when this game was competitive, he's my answer.
I think you can really take that floor, or I think the argument is absolutely correct. I don't disagree with it, but we're not talking about Javonte versus anybody with floor. There's no floor for Tank Dell with Nico Collins. There's no floor for Quentin Johnston. So I'm going Javonte.
Okay, I get it.
Dave, you want to read this one?
Give me live.
I think Dave's a little loud, by the way.
Well, I mean, what else is new? PPR pick 2, Hopkins, Jennings, Dell. I'm going to sit Dell here as well.
Okay. I'm going to sit Hopkins, I think. Heath, how about you?
I would sit Hopkins.
I just want to see Hopkins play a normal snap share, and I don't know that it's ever happening this year. All right, from Nolan, sit 2. How about all right, fine. Sit. When you give us 4, I'd prefer to start 2 than sit 2, but I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Cooper Kupp, Terry McLaurin.
Ooh.
Wow.
Kupp is a must.
I'm starting Kupp and McLaurin.
I might take Tyreek.
Is it full PPR too?
Yeah. Oh boy, Kareem Hunt though.
So I'm just going to do that thing where I tell you my projections, and I've got Kareem Hunt at 12.8, Cooper Kupp at 13.1, Terry McLaurin at 12.2, and Tyreek Hill at 12.
Okay.
So they're all 4 of them are within 1.1 points.
All right, my official answer is Kupp and McLaurin.
Okay. And mine is Kupp and Hill.
I'm Hunt and Kupp.
Okay, Kupp it is.
So
by the way,
one vote for somebody other than Kupp.
With the Eagles, being the best defensive team since their bye, what did you guys? I missed the show on Friday. How do you feel about Puka and Kupp? Just seeing what the Eagles have done to these incredible receivers lately.
I don't want to. I buy into the volume that they get, and this is a well schemed offense. I know that these are tough players that they're going to go up against in Philadelphia. I still think they're going to be able to put up numbers against them. Certainly easier to trust them in PPR, where they might get a dozen targets each. I mean, it's funneled to them. They get so much from game to game that they're possible.
Vegas is wrong sometimes. Vegas could be wrong, but it does not care about the Eagles defense at all. Second highest over-under on the slate, and the Rams are only 3-point underdogs. They have a higher implied point total than 2/3 of the teams playing today.
Interesting. Yeah, these receivers are so different than your typical outside receiver. It's the way they're used. Yes. And Kupp is a slot guy anyway.
Slot guy.
Yeah. So I'm pretty high on them. I'm sure we all are. Okay. Roshan or Cam Akers, PPR?
Roshan.
I mean, they're the same guy.
With Swift being a little injured, I'm going to lean toward Roshan.
I think Aaron Jones is a little injured.
We saw them rotate drives last week.
All right, I'm saying Roshan. Heath.
Yeah, it's sure.
Okay, Seibert or Aubrey today, and rest of season.
Seibert. I know that Aubrey's got the name recognition, and we know him to be an awesome kicker. I just don't know how many opportunities he's going to get. Literally half of every Cowboys game from here on out might not be competitive, and when they're down 24-7, they're not going to kick field goals.
I apologize. I think I missed. Dave, did we in our communication get an Austin Seibert?
No, we never did.
He was out at the beginning of the week, right?
I just put him in my rankings today.
I'm doing it right now.
Somebody else's rankings earlier.
And he's active. Okay, yeah, he's in. Okay. And he's off the injury report. Yeah. Okay. And he's 70% rostered. I think he's the number 1 kicker per game. So those of you who want a kicker, Austin Seibert for the Washington Commanders is a good kicker, good fantasy kicker.
I guess so.
Harrison,
bye Zane Gonzalez.
Marvin Harrison Jr., Jawan Jennings, or Jacoby Myers, and would you start any of them over Kyron Williams at flex?
I'm starting Marvin.
I'm starting Myers.
And Kyron, right? Keep Kyron.
Yep. What?
Gus Edwards or Audric Estime? Sorry.
Gus.
Estime.
Jennings or Reed?
I have Jennings over Jaden Reed.
I have no idea. Like, talk about two of the most difficult players in fantasy football. I'll go with Jaden Reed.
Heath, can we make a trade in the podcast league? I need a running back.
I don't know if I have any extra running backs, but I do know that I'm comfortably in first place and you're fighting for a playoff spot, so I will try to help you out.
Oh, thank you. And I'm only fighting for a playoff spot because of that stupid last possession of the Bengals-Chargers game.
So I have
last
three
week.
running backs on my bench.
Yeah, who are they?
Audric Estime,
Okay.
Zach Charbonnet,
Yeah.
and Jordan Mason.
I'll give you T. Higgins for them. Deal. Mahomes
Okay,
or Knicks?
Bo Nix.
Patrick Mahomes. Dave and I are going to disagree on every single question today.
Okay, great.
We started this stream agreeing on like 4 straight questions.
Jacoby Myers or Christian Watson? PPR.
Come on, Dave. We got it.
I'll answer first, and I will say Jacoby Myers.
Yes, Jacoby Myers. We agree.
Oh, man. This is week 12, huh? Akers, Brooks, or Estime?
Oh. Ooh. I don't know what noise that was. I would go with Akers.
That was the Will Brinson, right?
Actually, I think I was going for the ooh from Dirty Deeds from AC/DC.
So I think Estime and Akers are kind of the same guy, except Sean Payton could just decide that like the reason that Dave's nervous about Javonte Williams is the reason to give a little more excitement to Audric Estime.
Would you recommend Blair go to the waiver wire and see if he can get Amir Abdullah off the waiver wire?
Yes.
I would too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I would
Blair,
start Estime over
go
Akers.
get Amir A.
I
and start him.
Okay, Debo Samuel or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Marvin.
Do you want to trust Heath's ranking or Heath's projection? Because I'm ranking out of fear of missing out on Marvin. FOMO. Projection has Debo.
Okay. Yes, it is almost turkey time and almost ham time, too. Jennings, Stevenson, Swift.
Debo, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. I will sit. I think I'm going to sit Swift.
I'll sit Jennings.
Okay. Pick 2 here. Calvin Ridley, Debo Samuel, Jawan Jennings.
Red is the color of love.
Man.
I will sit Debo.
Yeah. I think I will, too.
My projections say sit Jennings. My rankings say sit Debo.
And Ridley's like, you guys are very confident in Ridley?
Well, I mean, I'm not. Debo and Jennings are not top 24 wide
Well, it was
receivers.
a separate question.
He's a number 2 wide receiver.
Confidence level is based on the volume that he's had, the targets that he's had in the last month and change, the deep targets that he gets. He would have actually had some consistency if the touchdown they had scored last week had counted, and not some dumb penalty that cost us.
Who has more fantasy points per game, Marvin Harrison or Quentin Johnston?
Marvin Harrison.
No, I think it might be Quentin Johnston.
It's definitely Quentin Johnston. Marvin Harrison is wide receiver 38 on this season in fantasy points per game.
Yeah. Oh no, you're taking a leap of faith with Marv.
I'm not getting a lot of flattering comments about the way I look today. I don't know what it is. This angle is not doing right by me. People say someone said I was very pale, which is weird because I was in the sun all day yesterday. I look like the X-ray tech that comes to the ER to escort you back to radiology. That's actually pretty funny.
So I just saw Adam looks like and then escort. So I thought it was a compliment.
Which quarterback has the higher floor, Mahomes or Bo Nix? And who has the highest
They
ceiling?
had like economically sound escort services. I would go with. I think the higher floor and the higher ceiling is with Knicks.
Okay.
I don't know.
McLaurin, Harrison.
They both have awesome matchups. One of them is taking on a defense without 3 of their starting corners.
That's Bo Nix, right?
That's Bo Nix.
Okay. I'm sure I didn't miss anything.
And that team doesn't have a running game that we buy into as being like so good that they're just going to like not let Bo Nix do anything. They're not. I don't know if they're going to be able to just run Javonte like crazy. Could they? Sure, but I don't know if they will. I think they like what they're doing with Bo Nix right now. I think they're going to keep doing it.
All right, so the Broncos have 4 running back rushing touchdowns this year. The Chiefs have 10. No, they have 7 because Hardman and Worthy have. If I put it non-quarterback rushing touchdowns, it's 10 for the Chiefs and 4 for the Broncos.
Marvin Mims didn't have a rushing touchdown?
He may have, but maybe.
Marvin Mims.
Like if we're doing non-running back rushing touchdowns, shouldn't we count Nix?
Sorry, non-quarterback rushing touchdowns. My bad.
Oh.
Yeah, Knicks has
Devontae
4
has 3
of 8. That's okay.
McLaughlin
Listen,
has
the
1.
Chiefs have a lot more non-quarterback rushing touchdowns than the Broncos. That's the bottom
Hunt
line.
has 5.
All right, Mayor Stafford.
Samaje Perine has 1. I have Stafford higher.
I swear people are just like torturing me by intentionally choosing 2 players that are not actually starters that are back-to-back in my rankings. May.
Abdullah or Jonathan Brooks, half PPR.
Abdullah.
Okay. Eckler or Pollard?
Pollard.
I would start. I think I have Pollard higher than Eckler, but it's close.
Adam looks even more pale in that bland conference room. Waddle or Slayton? Oh, FFT open.
I know where you are broadcasting from. That is no conference room. Or
Yeah,
unless it's a conference room for like maximum 2 human beings.
You can probably
Actually,
get 3 Adams in there.
I like it
Waddle.
in here. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, that's where I used to do the show like 2 years ago.
I'm going to eat these pistachios that Dave gave me. I haven't eaten anything today. It's 12:04. I have not eaten a thing.
Oh, those pistachios are delicious.
They're wonderful. This is the cinnamon brand, the cinnamon flavor.
All right. I'm going to try them.
They're incredible.
I loved the chili lime, the salt and pepper. They've got so many good pistachios.
Is Dave coming in here to try the pistachios? That's just weird.
Yeah.
Stuffing is the best part of the Thanksgiving meal. No, it's not. I don't even know if it's top 5.
It's funny, like this is your time to shine, really. Your Thanksgiving food takes are probably like your worst.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many opinions to be had on Thanksgiving. Dobbins or Hopkins, half PPR?
Dobbins. I'd kind of like to have you over Thanksgiving because you would eat all the things that I don't really care for. Like, you'd probably
Like what?
just like tear into the green bean casserole.
I do like green bean casserole.
And you prefer sweet potatoes to regular mashed potatoes.
Dave, why do you have a bucket on your head?
You're not gonna eat any of the turkey. You don't like the stuffing.
Do you have a ham? I like stuffing. It's just not Taysom or Otten rest of season in PPR.
Otten in full PPR, Taysom and everything else.
Okay. Brooks or Charbonnet? Wait, did we do that one? No, we didn't.
I'm going Charbonnet.
Westbrook Akine or Pierce? These questions today. Westbrook. I'm going to go with Westbrook Akine. There are some horrible Anthony Richardson, Alec Pierce games. Like that could be a 3-point game. Half PPR, I need 2. Rashad White, Neighbors, and McLaurin. We need 2 here.
Definitely doesn't have the floor of, say, Nick Westbrook Akina.
Well, no,
no
I mean,
way he's going to have a bad game.
No, I mean, look, I don't like the options. Would you go with Alec Pierce?
I don't think so. I just thought it was funny the way you framed it.
Yeah, man. No, Nick Westbrook Akine is super safe. Let me tell you.
I'll sit Rashad White.
I will too.
What do you think, Dave?
Of what?
The pistachios.
They're delicious.
I didn't have any. I just went to the men's room.
Oh, okay.
There's a guy walking around the office with a big orange bucket on his head. He looks actually very smart. We should have him on the show sometime.
Yeah, he's coming. He's going to be on the night show. McCaffrey, Connor, or Kareem Hunt. We need to sit one in. Ooh, we don't like those things.
You can kind of make the case for all 3 to sit. I believe I have Hunt ranked the lowest of the three.
Non-PPR, I have Connor as a sit.
Okay.
They're all within 5 spots of each other.
I would say, Connor has, I think 23 targets in his last 6 games. So I would sit Kareem Hunt. It doesn't matter. The yards still count, Like I get that, but I'm just saying it's a great role that he has now that he's involved in the passing game. Gives him a higher floor. Yams, is that like sweet potatoes? That's yams, right? The best Thanksgiving. Yeah, I mean, you put the marshmallow on it. Those are great. Jawan Jennings or Quentin Johnston?
Quentin Johnston.
Yes. No. Jawan.
Adam has amazing hair.
Wait, hold on. Was it Jawan Jennings or Jawan Johnson?
Jennings.
Because he spelled it like Jawan Johnson.
Oh, yes, he did. Okay, I'm sorry. I think I said Jennings. Okay, so it's Jawan Jennings, Quentin Johnston, Jawan Johnson.
Jawan Johnson's not playing, so I don't think it's...
Oh, yeah, definitely sit
don't
him.
start Jawan Johnson.
Pretty sure it's Jawan Jennings.
Adam's, thank you. I still have some product in it. Neighbors, DK or Downs, start 2.
It's why I actually thought your hair looked good today, too, when you came over and said hi before the show
It's a good haircut. Thank you.
Yeah. I like all 3 of these guys. I believe I have Neighbors the lowest.
Sit downs.
Can I take a few minutes to do my lineups again? Just set my lineups.
Go ahead. You can handle.
I understand. You've been really busy this week.
I have been. And can I leave you with a take though? A food take.
Oh,
I have a new arguably favorite dessert or treat. Cake pops. They are so good. If you've never do you ever had cake pops? They're incredible.
Been around for forever.
Yeah, kind of a special. They're a special occasion thing though.
Yeah, well, we had a special occasion last night. That's why I'm in town.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll be back.
Cake pops are great for special occasions. I mean, I'm not a millionaire. I can't have them just sitting around the house every day.
Special occasion, Heath. All right.
I feel like having a cake pop. Jeeves, bring me one, please.
Okay, Dave. I'm going to try not to click on the wrong thing, which I often do. Hey, FFT crew, would you start Tony Pollard or Hunter Henry over DJ Moore or Jamison Williams in a non-PPR league? I think Tony Pollard is my favorite player on that entire list in non-PPR.
Yeah, not for me. I'd go with Jamison, and I think I'd go with Moore over Pollard too.
Vikings D or Eagles D?
The one playing Chicago.
I would definitely go with the Vikings D. We agree on that. I feel like I'm on an island with Tony Pollard, and so I'll just say, like when Tyjae Spears has not played, Tony Pollard has been the workhorsest of the workhorses. And I think he's going to touch the ball 20 plus times, and I start those guys.
I get why you would start him for that reason, and that is a legitimate reason to start him. I don't think he particularly looked great last week. I don't think his line has looked great, maybe since Lloyd Cushenberry got hurt. I am nervous of a high volume, low efficiency, no touchdown day for TP.
I think you might get one of those. I think you're right. But I think a high volume, that's 13 to 14 points, and I think it's better than DJ Moore. Superflex, 6 points per pass touchdown. Stafford, Anthony Richardson, or Sam Darnold. Dave, you're the high guy on Darnold, aren't you?
I am the high guy on Darnold. I like the way that he's been playing, and I know that this Bears defense is considered great, and I believe both you and Jamie have made the argument that it is an impossible matchup for quarterbacks. I see the Vikings offense differently. I think that they're just able to put the ball in the air and make deep plays. And we've seen Darnold throw at least 32 times each of his last 3 games. I actually think this is going to be a competitive game. I think Chicago is going to stick around, and it's going to mean that Darnold isn't going to be able to hand off. We also haven't seen good efficiency from Aaron Jones lately. Maybe that just has to do with him not getting the same type of workload that he did earlier in the season. I would go with Darnold. I think there's a lot of downside that we know about with Anthony Richardson. There's upside too, and we saw it last week. Can Richardson have 2 good games in a row throwing the football? I want to say that he can, but that's kind of just me being an optimist.
I think Darnold
matchup, and I'm worried about his upside in the difficult matchup.
Darnold may have to do something with his legs. There has not been a quarterback this season who has scored 20 fantasy points against the Bears with their arm. We saw Trevor Lawrence got the closest. He scored 20 with only 17 rushing yards. Jaden Daniels scored 24 with 52 rushing yards.
And
Jordan Love scored 21 thanks to a rushing touchdown last week. But
and he only 17 times.
No one's done it as a passer the entire season.
I get it.
Cade Otton or TJ Hawkinson in half PPR?
Otton
for sure for me. Tyreek Hill or Jawan Jennings?
Reek.
I'm going with Tyreek. I would have gone with Jennings if he had Purdy, but he doesn't. Mashed potatoes and gravy all day long. I agree with you. I would like a plate of turkey, a plate of mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm good for the day. PPR Superflex 4-point passing touchdown. Dave, Otten, Caleb, Dell, or Christian Watson. Wow.
Dell and Watson are out. This comes down to Cade Otton in his first game with Mike Evans back, or Caleb Williams knowing what he's capable of. Like if he throws one touchdown, 200 yards, 30 rush yards, that's about 15 points. That could be right about what Cade Otton would do even in a full PPR.
I would go, Otten for floor, Williams for ceiling, if that makes sense. It's just, I think Caleb could have a good day chasing the score. I worry a little bit. He hasn't shown me a lot so far this season as a processor. And Brian Flores' defense has baffled quarterbacks all season long. I'm afraid that could just be a disaster.
So last week they did a lot more of just design throws, getting the ball out of his hand quickly, lots of screens. DJ Moore's ADOT, according to Azer, was less than 1 full yard. So that kind of stuff you're going to continue to see. But the other thing that Caleb did that I thought was good was he used his legs more. When he got out of the pocket, he would run. And that's going to lead to good numbers on the ground. I think he had a ton of rushing yards last week. I wouldn't count on that being something that stays in his game forever. And I don't even think he'll be as good at that this week as he was last week because he kind of showed that. Vikings will be ready for that. But he's still going to run a little bit, and that's good. That'll help him.
Baker or Herbert?
Like, I'm not sure I would say Caleb if I didn't see him run as much as he did last week. I'd go, I'm going to check my rankings. I believe I have Herbert higher.
I have Baker higher, but I am the low guy on Justin Herbert. He's still a top 12 quarterback for me. I think Dave and Jamie have him top 3.
He's 7.
You did you early in the week and then you dropped him a little bit? Okay. Debo or Waddle?
Gross. Debo.
Yeah. Just Dave's not that low on Debo. Aaron Jones or Bucky, half PPR?
It's Jones. But they're both kind of in the same boat in that they're going to split reps. They both have favorable matchups. I think I trust Jones a little bit more than I do Irvin.
Yeah, it's nervous. I'd say Jones. I think Lisa really hit the nail on the head there when she said flex, because she was telling us that she gets to start one of these guys in a flex with 6 teams on a bye, and that is a flex. So good job, Lisa. I saw one here. I want to ask. There we go. Bucky or Chuba Hubbard? Dave, how low are you on Chuba?
I'm pretty low on Chuba, half PPR. This might be one where I would go Irving. I have Irving one spot out of Chuba in full PPR. I would absolutely stick with that in half PPR.
I would go with Chuba, but I understand the Chiefs' run defense has been incredible. Jacoby Myers or Josh Downs, half PPR.
I'd go Downs.
I have Jacoby Myers there.
Okay.
I may be leaning too much. I tell you what, it's not just that. Like, part of it is Jacoby Myers was good against this matchup, and the Broncos aren't going to have him shadowed. But I really made an adjustment to the Raiders' pass rate when both Zamir and Madison were ruled out. I think we're going to see a lot of pass attempts for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, we did last week.
I have a moral dilemma here in our Dynasty League.
The Baked Burger Dynasty League.
Yeah, because I'm tanking.
Me too.
I've made it clear you're not allowed to start inactive players. You're not allowed to start players on a bye.
Okay, right.
But because of injuries and because of bye weeks, I have no choice unless I drop someone.
No, you don't. Okay, so I could be wrong here, Dave, and we're making this rule up as we go. But I think that's perfectly. You do not have to drop a player you want to roster just so you can start somebody. Okay. You cannot leave a player that's playing on your bench and play a player on a bye week. But if you don't have someone in their spot on your team, then it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't. I have.
Like, you have zero starting quarterbacks or tight ends or what?
I have Jake Ferguson and Taysom Hill.
Okay, you don't have to start a tight end.
All right. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Thank you guys for giving me that. I'm eliminated in the Scott Fish Bowl, which really stinks. Got off to such a good start.
Me too.
But it is nice to have like one less team to be nervous about or sweat, like one less result to sweat. Hurts or Daniels?
I have
Hurts.
retire.
I think that's Hurts. Yeah. We started the show with that one.
Yeah, it was an early one. Yeah. Jamie told me to start Josh Downs over Ramondre Stevenson. Has that changed?
If it's PPR, definitely not. If it's non-PPR, I'd have to double check my rankings to see where.
Yeah, I can't tell you whether Jamie's changed his mind or not, but I would start Stevenson in all formats over Downs.
Let's see. Marvin Harris. Oh, sorry. Odunze or Thielen? Odunze.
Rome is my favorite Bears wide receiver and my second favorite wide receiver in that game.
Hunter Henry or Sam Laporta?
Henry.
Agreed.
Jennings or Goddard, PPR?
Jennings.
I have Jennings at 9.3 and Goddard at 8.98. Jennings.
I have PPR flexes. Pick 2. Downs, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Dobbins?
Dobbins for sure.
Oh, okay.
You don't have Dobbins?
I don't think I have Dobbins. I think I'd rather in half PPR. I think I'd rather have Marvin and Downs.
I'm going to go Downs and Dobbins.
So Dobbins doesn't get the same type of volume as Chuba when he's a solo act, Pollard when he's a solo act. What's the rationale for Dobbins when he's going up against one of, if not the best, run defense in the league?
I don't trust Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay, I get that.
And
Honestly, I don't think you even need to say more than that. I completely understand.
Listen, Roquan Smith did not practice all week.
I don't think he's playing.
And I think they give up something like 1.4 more yards per carry to running backs with him off the field than they do with him on the field. This is not a lot of carries. And I seem to remember when they traded for him a couple of years ago, it was almost like instantly their run defense got amazing with Roquan Smith. So I know it's not a one-man operation, but I do think it's a very significant change to the matchup.
Okay. So my mind works like this. Like, I want to know who's replacing him. Who's going to be the linebacker on the field? With
Not one of the best. Not going to be one of the best linebackers.
He's worse
in
than
football.
Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
Well, but so is 90% of the linebackers in the National Football League.
I
can look into it. I'm curious.
I think the other thing is, and Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, the Ravens have been a little leaky to running backs in the passing game.
They have.
And J.K. Dobbins is definitely that guy.
Yeah.
Has like six games with 3 catches this year, I think. So
he makes me nervous because he really hasn't been running the ball that well. And then he had that late touchdown that sort of.
It was a great run.
It was a great run. Haven't been enough of that lately. But I mean,
so,
Josh Downs makes me nervous too.
Go ahead.
He's been really up and down, but just YPC for life. He's been over 5 yards per carry in 2 of his last 3.
Yeah.
It might help him to not have to handle 95% of the rush attempts.
Yeah.
All right.
He was terrible until his last carry of the third quarter last week. And I think a lot of it was on Dobbins' line more than it was Dobbins. Like, his line just could not get out of their own way. And then once they started to get their act together in the fourth quarter, we saw Dobbins take off. He had that long touchdown.
All right. This is from Mr.
Jesus.
Wow. That was disappointing. I'm sorry, Adam. Are you okay?
Punch him, get him, get him.
That was wow.
Shaky,
Okay.
we're gonna need a GIF made.
That was amazing. Wow.
GIF,
Was that
GIF.
what was that? Funny? Was that
Oh, it's hysterical.
I've already wrote down the time code.
I am very easily scared. Very easily. Wow. That was gosh, I hate being here. I just hate it. I miss home. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just read a few. I need a second. Ooh, man.
Oh my gosh. Mr. tried to put in everything he could to get his question answered by saying it's his birthday and happy Thanksgiving. He needs to start 2 from Sutton, Jennings, McConkey, Stevenson, and Quentin Johnston. Sutton is a must for me.
Yep.
I think it's either McConkey or Stevenson. Probably McConkey is who I'd go with over Ramondre.
I would go with Stevenson. I think Dave, can you get a baby aspirin over to Adam?
I can get him a big boy aspirin if that's
Well, no, he needs a baby aspirin just to make sure that that's what you give somebody when they're
right
having a heart attack.
Okay. I don't know if we have baby aspirin.
Oh man. Okay. Should I read more? Are we good?
I
Can
don't
you?
know. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay,
He's
I'm okay. Let's see. Roshan Johnson, Gus Edwards, Charbonnet, Singletary. Oh, you don't need one of these. You need 2 of these. Go ahead.
Roshan and Charbonnet.
I think I'd go. That's full PPR. That's probably the way to go. Roshan and Charbonnet.
Okay. Bucky Irving or Austin Eckler. Sorry, then we'll get to this one that I just clicked. Bucky Irving or Austin Eckler.
Bucky.
I agree with Bucky. I've got a Ravens linebacker report.
Okay.
I think IDP managers might want to hear that.
Oh, actually, yes.
Yeah, and I would go Javonte over Dobbs in full PPR, especially with the way the game script could go in that Packers game. I really don't feel great about any Packers pass catchers today.
Okay.
You know, I think
Who's the linebacker, Dave?
okay.
Just message me before you tell Heath. I got to make sure it's appropriate for air.
It's going to be appropriate for air.
Okay.
There appears to be a rotation coming at linebacker between Malik Harrison and Chris Board.
Yeah, I don't. Two guys filling in for one guy.
You can have him. You can have him.
Yeah.
I actually think it's going to end up being Malik Harrison. He was on the field the most after Smith left the game last week. Malik.
You know what? I'm gonna let Heath have him.
I don't want him.
Reed or Harrison, PPR.
I didn't even need him. I just wanted to pick him up and put him on my bench so you couldn't have him.
Is that Malik Harrison?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison or Jaden Reed.
Marv.
The rankings say Marv. Projections say Reed.
Did you know that Seattle's allowed 16 or more PPR fantasy points to 11 wide receivers in their last 8 games?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good matchup. Brandon Allen or Josh Downs in Superflex?
I'd go Downs.
Yeah, I would too.
Green bean casserole slaps. Sit 1 in PPR. Jamison Williams, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jennings, Reed, Metcalf. Wan'Dale.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, we could have such a great Thanksgiving. You could just have all of the green. Like, I just bring the pan over and set it in your place. I'd sit on the opposite side of the table. So
Is there cheese in it?
Smell
in
it or
yours?
look at it.
Is it what's in it? Just like what? Is there cheese in it or no? Mushrooms?
Adam, there's
You can make it
there's
so many-
crispy onions on top of it. I don't ever go any further than that. It's
By the way, my wife makes it with mushrooms and like a cheddar cheese layer on top. It's like it's hard for that to be bad, right? I'm sitting Wan'Dale Robinson.
like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. It is weird. I know.
I guess they don't have much flavor.
Abdullah or Dobbs, non-PPR.
Abdullah.
I'd go Dobbs.
JSN or McConkey?
JSN.
Yeah, JSN.
I might couch this and say McConkey and non.
It's funny. If I knew for sure that McConkey were playing, I would go McConkey against the Ravens. We saw finally what he's capable of doing when he gets a lot of targets. But I don't know. Maybe I'm one more game of JSN with DK Metcalf away from him from being a must start. You know what I mean? Like he's been mostly pretty disappointing with Metcalf. But gosh, Tyler Lockett is like a complete afterthought. Even though 2 games without Metcalf, Lockett's getting like 3-4 targets, 3 games in a row, I think. Lad McConkey or Rome Odunze?
Lad.
I would go with. I think I'd go with Rome. Like if you told me Lad was playing, I'd go with Lad. But
Right. So Dave, you're not feeling we need to play it safe with McConkey?
No, I think he's going to go. If you want to add an emergency option or have somebody eyeballed on the waiver wire before you commit to McConkey in your lineup, you should do that. That's a responsible thing to do. But he practiced 2 days this week. Chargers tend to be a little more cautious with their injury report.
Okay. Is it crazy to drop Rome Odunze for Josh Palmer?
Yes.
to make that happen. Maybe. Is there somebody else you could drop? If he's literally
I'll
your
ask
worst
him.
player, number one, you've got a great team. And number two, maybe there isn't that big of a drop off from McConkey to Odunze if McConkey does not score.
All right, Heath,
But
go you, and then we'll go to our next one.
So good for McConkey.
I just feel like I'm taking crazy pills. The 9th overall pick in the NFL draft that is coming off of a 10-target game that's had at least 12 fantasy points in 2 of his last 3. Like, Rome Odunze could just explode at the end of the season and be a league winner.
It's true.
And you just talked about dropping him for Josh Palmer.
Well, it's just
because you become McConkey.
Doesn't.
Because you want to start McConkey, and then
But
if
what's
you
the
McConkey,
difference, like, really?
Right.
Is it 2 points or 3 points between a projection for Ladd and Rome this week?
that's a huge difference, isn't it?
2 or 3 isn't huge.
I would think. I mean, when you're going through your
Play the floor game. Who's got the lower floor between these two?
all right, whatever. I think we've exhausted.
I was
this
trying to
one.
project what your difference might be, Adam. I have a difference of 0.45, and I actually have Rome projected for more points. So
Okay. All right, let's pick 2 here. Pollard, McConkey, Sutton, non-PPR. Okay, now I'm sitting McConkey.
yes.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop Cortland Sutton and Tony Pollard for Josh Palmer and
Simi Fehoko.
no Wallace for the guy who had the touchdown catch for the Ravens. Tyler Wallace. All right, McBride, Reed, Downs, or Ridley. Pick one.
Ridley.
I need to look at Ridley versus McBride. I mean, how much differently would we look at Trey McBride if he'd just like caught 2 touchdowns this year? I'll go Ridley.
I have Downs higher than Ridley. I would go Downs.
Rank Worthy, Hopkins, Pittman, and Bowers or Juwan Jennings, half PPR.
I will rank them Worthy, Hopkins, Pittman, and that is half PPR, and then Bowers over Jennings.
I've got it Hopkins, Worthy, Pittman, and Bowers over Jennings.
You know, Dave, I told you before the show I was coming in. I just wasn't feeling well today.
Yeah.
I was struggling, and I was good. I was like fine. And then that startle from Jamie, I just
That
set
made
me
you
back.
sick?
Yeah, I feel like kind of like sweating now. Like
I told you need a baby aspirin.
I'm not having a heart attack, but
Oh my God. What if you're going, like, do we need to call 911?
You're a middle-aged man. You
It
shouldn't
really-
be scared like that.
Can you imagine if Jamie caused you to go into cardiac arrest?
no, I'm not joking about
scaring
this.
I'm
No.
not joking.
I'm
If
fine.
You're sweating and
I'm
you're feeling
sick.
ill.
I'm not sick.
You're too old. You're not.
You know, I had a weekend, right? Like we had 2 big events, Friday and Saturday, 2 big family events. And most people would wake up Sunday not feeling well because they drank too much. I don't feel well because I really think I ate too much. I have been stuffing myself this whole weekend, and I think it caught up to me.
Will you please tell me if like your arm starts hurting?
Well, yeah, but I threw a few footballs yesterday, so you know, Debo or JMO PPR.
Debo.
Devo, yeah. That's can you send that to me, please?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, man.
Nicholas
Good for
Cage
you.
for the win.
Nico Collins or Terry McLaurin?
Nico.
I have Nico higher.
Oh gosh, I thought that said GM Gettleman. I thought they were like making a joke about us, but it says "Good morning, gentlemen." 4 point per passing touchdown. Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, or Jared Goff?
Daniels.
I think Daniels is third for me. I have Goff over Nix in 6 point. I might take Nix over Goff in 4 point.
Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, Ridley Waddle. Let's get 2 here. Oh,
You
this
don't have
one's
acid
easy.
reflux or anything right now.
I do have acid reflux.
Yeah, you think you have like every symptom.
No, I don't have it currently. acid reflux. I have it though.
Good.
Anyway, Ridley and Flowers is the answer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sutton, Stevenson, Juwan Jennings, PPR.
Sutton.
I will go with Sutton.
I'm glad I didn't curse when he did that. Deviled eggs or green bean casserole?
Deviled eggs.
Green bean casserole. Dave, break the tie.
I can only have one green bean casserole, no mushrooms.
Fair. Stafford or
at least
Richardson?
So small that I don't think about it.
Richardson.
Kyler or Herbert?
Kyler, especially in 4-point.
Oh, man.
You sound a little short of breath.
I'm like dizzy.
Ridley.
Dizzy or Ridley?
I'd go Ridley over Disley.
I don't know why he's saying "Carry On My Wayward Son," but the beginning of that song is so awesome. After they do like the little acapella harmonies, they just get right into this ripping solo. It is awesome, right? Like, what a great rock song that is. Don't they have that? Isn't there like a South Park scene with that where they're doing like Guitar Hero on that or something like that?
Probably.
Tortellini. Oh, hey, cutlets, tortellini, and gabagool. Wandale or Noah Brown?
I'd go Wandale. It's close.
Myers or Dallas Goddard? PPR.
Jacoby.
I think I agree. I can double check my rankings to confirm it.
Do you have any water in there with you?
I do. Yeah, I'm almost out, but yeah,
You should have a drink.
I've been trying.
Myers over Goddard.
Gosh, man, he really got me. I don't think I've ever been gotten like that. It was actually in college one time. My friend hid under my blanket in my bed, in my dorm room, and I just like walked into my room. And he jumps out. And that was incredible, like dedication to scaring someone. All right, this looks like a lot of work. I don't think I have the strength to read this entire thing. So you guys go ahead.
So non PPR.
He needs one from Chuba, Bucky, Benson, and Javante. I think that's got to be Javante.
Chuba for me.
Okay, and then drop one for future. So we're stashing all these guys but one. Roshan, Charbonnet, Algier, Tajay, and Jalen Wright. I would assume that is Jalen Wright. Who would be the first guy off your bench here?
I would drop Tyler Algier.
Especially since he's not playing.
I would drop Jalen Wright.
If we're talking about redraft, I might be with you. But if we're talking about keeper leagues, I mean this dude could be the 1B running back in Miami.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
What if HN gets hurt today?
If HN gets hurt and Bijan gets hurt, I'd much rather
Bijan's
have
not playing
Algier.
this week.
Yeah, okay, but I still think Mostert would be a big factor. Big factor. I just I think Algier's a better handcuff than Jalen Wright personally, but I respect your opinion. Bucky Irving or Rashad White. Also, I was not interpreting that as a keeper. I know he said future. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Dave on the keeper aspect here. I just thought he meant this year future. Bucky Irving or Rashad White?
I'm going Bucky.
I think it depends on format. Full PPR, I'd rather go with Rashad White.
Neighbors or Jonathan Taylor? PPR.
I will double check my rankings to confirm.
Neighbors
and PPR.
Oh, rankings nerd.
He's averaging one. Taylor's averaging one catch per game with Anthony Richardson.
Neighbors.
It's a big disadvantage. Disley or Laporta?
Disley.
Yeah, I agree.
Start
Made
two.
that decision myself in one of my leagues.
Josh Palmer, Demario Douglas, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Devon Vele. Pick two.
Palmer,
Demario and Westbrook.
Yeah, I think Westbrook's got to be one of them just for the upside. Douglas and Vele are probably going to be a little safer. I think I would take Douglas over Vele.
How confident are every time I hear footsteps behind me, I'm like
There's a lock on that door, right?
No, knowing me, I'd get locked in. I got locked into the bathroom at the hotel this weekend.
Adam, lock the door. That's what I did when I used that room. So
Uh,
what just happened never happened to me.
How confident are we in Kyler and Knicks over Jaden Daniels?
I'm good with it. I'm good with both of them. We haven't seen Daniels playing at a super high level. I'm nervous about his upside. It's a great matchup. I fully expect the Commanders to be great, but I think they can be great in just a lot of rushing touchdowns. They could also win this game like 24-7.
I think this is the ultimate revenge game of decades of Washington frustrations poured out on the Dallas Cowboys.
Nice.
Dan Quinn gets his revenge. Jaden Daniels would be my favorite of those three.
A cathartic victory for the Commanders.
By the way, Dave, you played Contra, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, when I go all the way back, if I bring I go all the way back, doesn't it kind of look like one of the endings of a Contra scene of a level? It's like, because like it's so far away.
Yeah. So people in the chat have been asking about the
not
weather, and I just saw the updated Kevin Roth forecast. So he's got nothing worse than a yellow. Arizona at Seattle is a yellow for rain all game long. The Tampa Bay, New York game is just like a green yellow with a little bit of wind. And same thing for the Packers, a little bit of wind and rain, but nothing. I'm not changing my rankings or projections at all based on weather for these games.
Disley or Tank Dell?
Disley, full PPR.
I have Disley at 8.75. I have Tank Dell 10.5. Give me Tank.
Hunt or Abdullah, PPR?
Kareem.
100% agree with Dave.
Yeah. Thank you. Somebody in on this Contra reference. Downs, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Christian Watson? Downs, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Christian Watson? I like Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm gonna be optimistic.
I would take Downs, but I get it. It's close between those two.
Downs.
And Quentin Johnson, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Ridley? Non-PPR, pick two.
Sit Quentin.
Agreed.
Sit two. Jacoby, Bateman, Worthy, Allen, and Westbrook Akine. Keenan Allen.
Yeah, sit the last two.
I wasn't saying that as an answer, but Keenan Allen, because I just picked up Keenan Allen in a 3-receiver PPR league. I dropped Tyler Lockett. I'm sure I'll be wrong, but Keenan Allen actually does give you pretty consistently about 8 PPR fantasy points.
Well, wouldn't you say that Bateman and Westbrook have the most volatility?
Yeah.
Like Keenan does not have the most upside.
Oh, God, no.
But he could score a touchdown. Then he might have 14.
So could all these guys. You know, what's in Keenan Allen's favor is he can catch, let's say, 5 passes or even 4 passes.
Yeah.
How often do Akine and Rashad Bateman catch 4 passes?
How often does Worthy? I mean, I know you're not going to sit Worthy coming
I
off
agree,
that game.
but I do think that the Chiefs are going to try and get Worthy more targets.
Was it full PPR?
Yeah, it was full PPR. All right, I'm sorry. I took us on a detour here. So what's your answer?
I'm sitting Bateman and Westbrook Akine.
I'm starting Keenan Allen in 2 different leagues, and I'm not proud of it.
Oh, wow.
They're both 14 team, 3 wide receiver with a flex.
Oh, that's great. That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would sit Allen and Westbrook.
Okay. Start J.K. Dobbins or Tony Pollard in half PPR.
Jacalyn. That's his real name. I'm being fancy.
I would start. I have Tony Pollard at 12.59 and J.K. Dobbins at 12.587.
Wow.
0.03 of a point separating them.
So the rankings
Your
are split.
projections fascinate me. Like that everybody is just like so close.
Yeah. The rankings are split on Daniels and Mahomes and Brian Robinson Jr. and Tyrone Tracy.
I like the fact that he's looked at the rankings and he knows that we disagree. And so I think he's just asking you, Adam.
Oh, I'm going with Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson Jr.
Okay.
How about you?
I'd go Mahomes.
I'd go Daniels and Tracy.
Right.
Okay.
We don't have 3.
Which running back do you like, Dave?
I like Robinson over Tracy. It's close.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens with Tyrone Tracy. He's obviously been, really good, very talented, but he hasn't been catching a lot of passes when Neighbors have been on the field. Obviously, different quarterback.
I mean, Brian Robinson's got
never.
2 passes in the last 4 games.
I know, but he feels very likely to score a touchdown.
He does, but he absolutely must.
Yeah.
I think he has 1 game it's not just the catching. He has 0 games since September with more than 70 rushing yards.
Yeah, he also has really been
71.
on limited snap counts. He's then dealing with some injuries. There haven't been a lot of games where he's been fully healthy. I feel like this is one of the first times he's been off the injury report. Maybe last week too. But I agree. It makes me a little nervous in PPR. Okay.
Enormous upside. A great home run swing from Jamie for the start of the week.
Yeah.
Like, this could be the number 1 running back this week.
Otten or Jaden Reed, PPR?
I think I'd go Otten. I know I would.
Otten, I would go with.
Otten.
Thank you, Yoda. Laporta or Hawkinson?
I'm really
Ridley?
digging in deep here, trying to help people win.
Yeah, they good.
Hawkinson and where do I have Harrison compared to Ridley?
Laporta and believe it or not.
I like that. When I think of Marvin Harrison Jr., I think of Home Alone. Marv. I don't know why I think of Joe Pesci saying Marv like that.
I'd chance it with Ridley at this point.
I'm going to say something positive about Marv because you guys were talking about the Seahawks defense. And I hadn't really thought about what a good matchup they'd become lately. And so I thought, I wonder what Marvin Harrison's done against good matchups this year.
Oh, okay.
He's played almost none of them.
Yeah.
In terms of fantasy points allowed, I think the Rams are the only top 10 matchup he's faced, and they're like 8th or 9th. And he had like 400 fantasy points against the Rams.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
I like that. You liked. I haven't even brought up the likes. I don't think we're doing very well in that department. This is a guess. But hit the like button. Okay. Disley, Hopkins, Dowdle.
just not even going to tell people. We're not going to not going to stop.
It's okay.
Oh, well, I had closed the window, so I didn't want to
I would go Disley.
Adam's closed the windows, locked the
Lock
doors,
the door,
keeping people out of this room.
All right, we have 3,280 people watching, and we have 640 likes. Oh, man, that's bad.
Yeah, we
If we
need
get
over 1,000 likes.
I agree.
We'll figure out a way to scare Adam again.
Isn't it pretty awesome that we've got it's almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we've got 3,000. Our listeners must be kicking some major tail this year in fantasy football. Because we know when people are under 500, a lot of times they tune out.
Yeah. They check out. They're
Yeah.
losing.
Nobody's checking out from this show because they're winning.
I hope so. I hope that's true. But if you really want to win, you need to hit the like button. I'm going to hit it right now. We're at 780 likes. We got to get over 1,000
For sure.
You know what? I'm gonna answer a question that's a reference to a question that we already answered. We already answered it. Okay.
And then I have one.
You just said Bateman over Keenan Allen, but if you have McConkey, would you go with Keenan Allen to have Bateman as a backup for Monday night?
Yeah, I like that. That's smart.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's really smart, Adam. So I did make the Scott Fish Bowl
Nice.
playoffs, and I was gonna. Oh no, I don't have any roster questions. I just wanted to tell you that I made the Scott Fish Bowl playoffs.
All right, way to go. All right,
Evil.
so let's see.
I missed it by 20. I missed the cutoff by 20 points.
913 likes right now.
It was
We're
week
getting
9 that Jamie told us that he was getting ready to remember when he was going to clinch for the playoffs that week.
there.
Yeah.
And everybody on his team got hurt.
That was my last undefeated team, and then Nico Collins got hurt, and T. Higgins got hurt, and that was I can't believe I didn't make the playoffs in that league.
Yeah,
And I actually kept Caleb Williams in that league. If I had dropped him, maybe I would have done better.
that's true.
947 likes. All right, we only have about 10 minutes left of show, so I'm gonna serve the people here. Andrews or Otten, half PPR.
Otten.
Gade.
DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings. And yes, Dave, it was under a yard ADOT for DJ Moore. Probably the best stat of last week. Unbelievable. DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings, Will Dissly. Pick one.
Juwan.
Jennings.
Junior. I don't know if he's a junior or not, but Juwan Jennings.
Yes. Oh, maybe he's not.
Do I wait on McConkey or just play Xavier Worthy?
I'd wait on McConkey.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bucky. No, it's definitely not morning anymore. But Bucky Irving or Debo Samuel, PPR.
Might be morning where Rohan is.
He's a Knicks fan. He's on the East Coast. Come on.
They have Knicks fans in Montana.
Ugh, terrible game yesterday. Bucky Irving or Debo? I'm going Bucky.
I kind of like Bucky.
I would go Bucky.
Because we like Bucky. It's not like a settle for Bucky. We like Bucky. Chiefs or Texans? DST.
I believe the Texans are my number one DST.
Ooh, man, that's I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, but that's a tough call. Puka
Texans are my number one DST.
Wow, okay. Puka or Cup?
Puka.
Literally looking over my shoulder.
Didn't you lock the door?
Yeah, I did. I was still like,
Now you don't have to worry about
He'll pick it. He'll pick the lock. I like Cup better this week. I don't know how you guys feel.
If I tell him where the key is.
Puka.
Puka?
I'd go Cup if it's PPR.
Okay. And my reasoning for it is he's in the slot almost all the time. And just the Eagles been so good against the outside guys. Jacoby, J-Mo, Quentin Johnson, Tony Pollard need two.
Pollard and Jacoby.
Every person that walks by, Adam starts to freak. I'd go Johnston and Jacoby.
All right, we need two in full PPR. Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and Tyrone Tracy. And then we need Hawkinson or Otten. Oh.
Otten.
I think I'd sit Jones.
Me
from
too.
Those three running backs. And I would start Otten over Hawkinson.
I forgot to set my FanDuel lineup, and I can't access FanDuel from the office.
You can from
Your phone?
Okay, I'll try.
You consider using your phone.
from your phone.
JSN or Bucky Irving?
I would go with JSN.
I would too.
Okay, we've got Tommy DeVito or Cooper Rush. You can answer
DeVito.
that one.
DeVito.
Oh, here we go. And then Andrews, Christian Watson, or Romeo Dobbs?
Watson.
Non-PPR. Yeah, I'll go Watson.
Scott Ladd says Hawkinson, Andrews, Addison, Keenan Allen. We need PPR. We need at least one of them to be a tight end, and we need two of them overall.
Hawkinson, Addison.
Andrews, Addison.
Okay. Charbonnet, Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Waddle, or Tyler Lockett?
I'm flexing one of these guys. It's going to come down to one of the last two. I will probably take my chances with Waddle.
Sure.
Okay. And I think I've mentioned this on the air before, but when you get a code sent to your phone, and then when you go to enter it and you can just press the button, like it already knows the code that's been sent to your phone. I love that. I love that feature, that technological advancement. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
You're about to lock.
Herbert, Baker, or Kyler?
That's something that everyone is
It's universally loved.
deserved to be scared.
Herbert, Baker, or Kyler?
I would sit Baker.
Oh, sorry, it's two.
I would sit Herbert.
Kyler Murray or Jaden Daniels?
Kyler.
Daniels.
Eckler or Rashad White, PPR?
White.
I agree with Dave.
Bucky Irving, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. We need a flex.
DK. Oh, no, McLaurin.
I'll go with DK. I agree with early Dave.
Zay Flowers or Mike Evans?
Evans.
Zay.
Evans is going to get shadowed by Deontay Banks, which is a great thing for Mike Evans. Sutton or Tyreek Hill?
Sutton.
Agreed.
Tank Dell or Nick Westbrook Akine?
I believe
Take.
I fell higher. Take.
Neighbors, Tracy or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I might take Tracy.
You got to sit one, and I'm sitting
Sorry,
Marv.
sorry.
I'm starting both Giants. What could go wrong?
That Bucks defense could go very right for them. Richardson or Caleb Williams in Superflex.
Anthony Richardson.
I agree.
I got to answer one for Anthony Richardson.
How about that? Let's see. Jellied cranberry sauce.
The shape of the can.
Or cranberry relish.
I'm non-cranberry. I don't like cranberry in any form.
My wife
Smart.
makes the best cranberry sauce. Yeah, I'm gonna ask her if she'll make some for today, and then I'm gonna have more on Thanksgiving.
Wait, does that mean you're going to bring some in the office for us to try?
Absolutely. Well, I will be coming in the office on Wednesday.
Yeah, bring it in.
Probably.
Roshan over you going Roshan over Charbonnet? Roshan?
Yes, Roshan over Charbonnet.
Okay, Disley or Myers?
Disley.
All right, obviously we're going with Tommy DeVito in our FanDuel lineup, right? Let's just get a DeVito lineup going.
You know who I think I want to play in DFS? If you got time to go set a lineup that everybody else seems to be low on, I think it might be the shootout, the bonanza of the week. Seahawks Cardinals with Geno as your QB.
It's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that
Don't-
Cardinals defense has been really good. So I'm hoping you're wrong because I picked up the Cardinals DST in a lot of leagues. Did we answer this, guys? Flowers, Downs, or Hunt PPR?
Flowers for me.
I think I have Flowers the highest of the three.
I might have Hunt higher. Sorry. Flowers.
Okay. Choose two. But read it.
Bucky, Hubbard, McConkey, Downs, Jennings.
I am going to start Downs and McConkey.
I'm going to start Chuba and Downs.
Okay. Otten or Disley? We like Otten, right? Dave. Dave, you have Javante over Tony Pollard?
I do.
Okay, quickly. Why? No, sorry. We don't have time for that. And my battery is about to die on this computer. So we have about a minute left in the show. DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Roma Dunze.
This computer just died.
DJ Moore, Tank Dell. That would be pretty funny.
I think you should do it. I didn't hear the question.
DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Roma Dunze.
Odunze.
Go ahead, Schaefer, whenever you're ready. Oh my God.
Caption this.
That is a fantastic way to end week 12. That's exactly how I felt 6 days ago when I went to set my week 12 lineups and saw all the guys on bye.
Oh my gosh, it was wild. All right, thanks. So listen, we'll talk to you guys later today. Good luck in week 12. Let's go get some wins. It's a big week. And we'll talk to you. We'll have a happy show tonight. Roughly 8 o'clock, hopefully a little bit earlier Eastern time. We'll see you at youtube.com/fantasyfootball today. Thanks, everybody.